闇にうごめく一つの影オタクそれはやめる現代に誕生した暗黒の象徴である心ひそかに忍び寄り人の感性をわしづかむその定めからは誰も逃げられないのだ
果てなき荒野一人ひた走る者まだ見ぬ世界あるか希望を抱いて
It's episode 100! It's the anime cast from the Red Leaf Retrocast. Hickey, Tori, we have done it! Hooray!
We have done it. We have done it. We have indeed done it. It
Yay.
took probably way longer than expected, but we did it.
It's amazing we are here.
I mean, to be fair, we did originally say that we would probably last 10 episodes. So, yeah, we got a bit over that.
90 episodes later, 4 years later, almost to the day. We have done it. What a great accomplishment this is. We have reviewed not quite 100 anime because of the multi-episode ones, but we're pretty damn close.
Hey man, at least we actually have shows that we start and then we keep going on them and finish them. Instead of just being like, let's review, I don't know, Touch, but let's only review the first 20 episodes and then say fuck it.
I mean, we've done that with some shows, like Cat's Eye, we've done
but
15.
There's generally a reason for it. It's like, if we don't like the show, why keep going? It's kind of my thing about that. It's like, does anybody actually want to hear us complain about a show for 150 episodes plus?
Probably not.
I know I wouldn't.
Well, especially if a show's episodic, or in the case of Attack Number 1, where we got 50 episodes in, it's like, you know what? I think we're good.
You know what? I think I've seen enough abuse now. I think I get it.
Well, we have technically watched, I think, 50 episodes of Sailor Moon.
Yeah, but I feel like that's to prove a point.
Shall we go another 50?
I don't know. Does anyone want us to?
Hickey, do you want us to?
Watch more Sailor Moon?
Yes.
Sure.
Oh, no, that was the wrong answer. I don't like that answer. Try again.
I mean, or we can just take every single episode that Sailor Moon would get and transform into a hentai episode. I don't mind.
Ooh. Okay.
That does sound like an idea.
That's an idea. So for the beginning part of this podcast, we're going to kind of just celebrate and have our top 10 reviewed anime on the podcast. Kind of what the shows that we have reviewed, and I guess we each have a top 10 over the score we gave it, which, I mean, makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, scores. Yes.
Yes, Hickey, scores. You know that thing you added at the end of every time you do a episode of this
Only the highest score shows. Yes, of course.
Listen, man, you fucked up, all right?
I did not. You understand why? I mean, I can go first if you want to. Then I just knock out the show. The show I chose is number 10.
Sure.
Yeah, let's celebrate then. Let's start celebrating. JD, do you have a champagne close to you?
So I got because it's Memorial Day weekend here. May long weekend in Canada was the previous weekend, but it's Memorial Day now. I got to celebrate that again in my life. I went IPA special. I went a limited edition from a brewery in Massachusetts I visited recently. I went after work one day because everything's opening up again here in the United States. Hooray! No?
Whatever.
Mine never closed, so congratulations to you.
I mean, America was technically never closed. I think it was like 2 weeks where people pretended. So, anyways,
like, no, we need to close everything. Oh, but I need to eat. Yeah.
I need to make money to pay rent, so I'm going to work every day.
No, this right now is technically a hospital. I have a certificate, so I can stay open in my bakery hospital. right here.
Yes.
Bakery
It says here.
hospital.
I am vital.
That is the most random thing I think you could have thought of. The bakery in the
that
hospital.
Happened here. That happened.
It
here.
happened there. You're in Brazil.
Oh, I don't.
happened.
I
Not
no, I
hospital per
don't
se,
doubt
but
it, but it
like,
just seems random.
Bakeries could stay open in my state. Like one of the restaurants only delivery and stuff. So a bunch of bars just like, we are bakeries now, and they would just make and sell bread, and like there's a bunch of people just drinking, and they have bread, right? They have like milk.
And
it's-
red basket on top of the counter.
and
And you serve alcohol.
Yeah. Pretty much. And I was like, oh, I see. Smart. Smart
There's
people.
like one bread in the basket, and it's like, yeah, no, we're a bakery.
Yeah.
Real
We're like,
bakery.
we are a restaurant. We're a delivery restaurant, so we can stay open. And it's basically a bar, but they just get a guy on a bike and he just delivers stuff. I was like, that is quite a smart move. Quite a smart move. And then the police would just come and say, yeah, no, it's a restaurant. Nothing wrong here. You guys just don't sit anywhere, but you can stay standing up and drinking with your friends. We don't give a shit. Very interesting times. So yeah. Anyway, celebration. Yay. Congratulations to the United States opening up again. Yeah.
It's
yay.
good. Lots of people are vaccinated. I'm vaccinated. The fucking my place of work had someone from the local hospital to come with a bunch of vaccines. So to get everyone that works there vaccinated, I think only maybe 30% of the people actually took them up on that offer, which is kind of strange to me. But most of the people are from out of country, so I don't know. Maybe they thought, oh, shit, if we have to show our IDs, they'll find out we're illegal or something. I don't know.
I mean, that's a valid point.
So anyways, lots of fun. 1 year later, basically, just over a year later, my life hasn't changed at all because I just continued going to work every day and doing my normal thing. But yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm still going to work. Doesn't matter. Doesn't change. Tomorrow. Next week, I should have a 4-day weekend, but because they gave the holiday already in the beginning of the year, I will have to work on the holiday.
Oh, that sucks.
I got COVID. It was just not cool, but yeah. I was a little bit under.
I have a feeling that's not a controversial opinion.
I mean, I had the light one.
Yeah, the
it
light
sucks
kind.
if you have the heavy one. I am sorry for you. The light one is a little bit underwhelming. Yeah, I felt like, I don't know. It's fine now. Anyway, my 10th show for the podcast. I went with fun factor more than scores. Of course, most of the shows have a high score. This is the only one with a really, really bad score. And that is, of course, the one and only Stainless Night. But understand, it was episode 50.
Yes.
It was episode 51, which means halfway through our journey so far. That episode was just way too good. Stainless Night is as bad as it can be, but goddamn, it was fun to watch, and goddamn, it was fun to just beat the shit out of it for like 2 hours, I think.
Our second most downloaded anime episode, by the way, was Stainless
Of
Night.
course it is.
Nice.
Everybody just sees that hentai and they're like, yeah.
Birch trees. Yeah. Yes.
The birch tree
favorite.
joke.
Oh, man,
one of my
it's
favorite.
so-
One of my favorite moments.
Yeah, it's so good. Like, people died and don't give a shit. Lou's like, oh yeah. It's like, oh, they went to get help and never came back. Oh, that sucks. By the way, I grew a dick. What the fuck? I was like, yeah. I'm like, okay. That is so
Gotta make
good.
the best out of the situation.
Pretty much.
Okay, I'll go next. Number 10 is Gankutsuo. Not too long ago, back in February of this year, we reviewed it, got a high score. Count of Monte Cristo super anime-fied. It was a lot of fun. Got pretty decent downloads, pretty normal for what we've got in 2021 so far. Tori, what you got?
My number 10 is kind of surprising to myself, but I figured, you know what? Sure, let's go with one that I give a lot of extra credit to because it's not someone you'll see often on a top 10 list at least anymore. And that is actually Takarajima or Treasure Island.
Oh, that was an enjoyable one.
It was a really good one. I really enjoyed it. 70 show, it's just, I wasn't really expecting much from it, and it ended up being a very fun show. So I was like, you know what? I think that deserves to be on the top 10 list. I do like it when shows kind of come out of nowhere. You're not expecting them to be good, and then they turn out to be really good. So, yeah, Takarajima fits that bill perfectly. So it's my number 10.
It was a fun little show, adventure show, pure adventure.
Yep.
Yeah. My number 9 is Night on the Galactic Railroad. We reviewed that on episode 53 with Yatta. Cool guy. That is a really cool movie. It's a little bit heavy for a kid's movie. I remember we talked about that because it talks about death and stuff, and
that's right.
Dude, I cannot believe they did that to kids. Imagine going to the movie theater and with your kid to watch that show, and then your kid needs to deal with losing a close friend in a tragic accident, but they just fucking drowned to death. It's like, oh shit.
Ryder's trying to sort out his own. Ryder's trying to sort out his own fucking issues writing that story, and then Japan's like, kid show, kid story, definitely.
Kid show, yeah. I mean, it doesn't have boobs, and if they had boobs, it would be covered. So,
I guess.
Yeah, true. Also, in that episode, we reviewed Spring 2019 anime. It's been a long time. Internet years. It's been a long time.
It's been a hot minute. Absolutely,
barely a thing back then.
All right, my number 9 is the Vision of Escaflowne, which I believe my fellow host on the retro gaming side joined us for that review. I'm looking for... I can just do Control F. What am I doing? Vision. We did that back on episode 37, November of 2018, and that was the same one where we talked about music in anime. So that was a really fun show that we got to kind of talk about just how much music impacts anime, and it was one of my more enjoyable reviews that we've done for the podcast. Good times. Gave that a 9 out of 10. Tori?
Yeah. No, definitely. So my number 9 is Bebop High School, actually.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. It kind of goes into that same the same ends I said for Takarajima. It's a show that I hadn't even really heard about that much before we watched it. So I was like, okay, cool. Maybe it'll be a fun little OVA series, and that it was. I remember that episode as well. Lots of laughs. It's such a silly comedy. I absolutely love it. Folks just beating the shit out of each other and many funny situations arising. It's just, I don't know. I was about to call it a guilty pleasure anime. It's not even a guilty pleasure anime. It's just really fucking fun to watch.
So
yeah,
I marked down.
So absurd from time to time.
Yeah.
So I marked down when we we actually recorded that August 24th, 2019. And when we first reviewed it, 713 people had completed on Mal. Okay? Since then, it has doubled. Obviously, I think, deserve all the credit for that. to increase that.
Why would people watch it if not for us? Come on.
Exactly. I mean, no one, as you said, Tori, haven't really been familiar with it, and then boom, we review it. It's doubled in 2 years. So how about that? Come on. How long has Mal been around? Not that long. In the grand scheme of anime, but long enough. At least, what, 10 years? Mal's been around.
In internet years, like a 500 years.
Yeah, so we have obviously taken all the credit for that massive increase on Mal.
Yes. Next, what do we do next? Are we going to talk about Attack on Titan and then claim that it's our thanks to us that it's as popular?
I don't think we can make that claim for that one, but hey, I'd be willing to do it.
I would absolutely take credit for that, of course. Kidding me? You know, it might not be an exaggeration to say that we put anime on the map. I'm just saying.
Okay. Hickey.
All right, number 8. It is the Kido Keisatsu Pet Label, but the movies, because the OVA series is not that good.
You
But
bastard saying
the
such
movies
things.
are just like coming out of the OVAs and going to the movies. I gave the first one an 8, and the second one a 9. It was episode 23. We did it with Bcom, and in that episode we talked about the launching of Idolmaster Shiny Calls in 2018, and I'm pretty sure there's a rant. I did a rant about Uma Musume never coming out.
Yeah, so BCom was from the
it's been a
Nerdum and
long
Other
time.
Nonsense podcast we did it with.
Yeah, the movies are just so good. They're just especially the second movie, but it becomes so heavy. It goes from this lighthearted, just goes from this lighthearted, dumb police mecha comedy to just depression so fast. But still keeping faithful to the comedy elements. Definitely more in-depth characters, characterization, and it's extremely enjoyable. Even though the OVAs are not that great, I give it a 6 to the OVAs.
Mm-hmm.
It was still a very fun episode, just like reviewing Ghost in the Shell. Since it's also a Mamoru work. It was such a fun in-depth discussion to have. Remember, we used to do those kind of things, but it is hard. Thinking is hard.
Thinking is hard.
Yeah, it was very fun to movies.
All right. My 8th pick, or my 8th ranked, is Cowboy Bebop, our 50th episode anniversary. Very fun. That was the one where I just got smashed over the course of the review. Really funny stuff. I won't take credit for my irresponsibility there. That was a lot of fun. If you haven't heard of Cowboy Bebop, obviously we'll take all the credit for people that are aware of the show. I don't know if you've heard of it, Tori. Maybe you've forgotten it since then, but it was on Toonami and had some semblance of cult popularity there. So, yeah. Cowboy Bebop, episode 50.
Yeah, it went from being the kind of go-to, like, this is the anime everybody needs to watch, like, this is what got everybody into anime, to where it is today, which is basically in one of two camps. You either love it or you hate it and think it's one of the worst things ever created.
Is that really a thing now?
That is really a thing now.
No way. I don't believe you.
Oh, no, it is.
No way. It is?
Yeah.
Who says
Cowboy
that?
Bebop has fallen in the eyes of a lot of people. It's old. People are mad that people are still holding it in such high regard. So, like, I can understand it to a certain extent, but at the same time, I absolutely love Cowboy Bebop. So everybody who dislikes this is clearly wrong.
Well, you'd be surprised, but it is our... Let's see, I'm looking at the numbers here. I have just this Excel sheet that I can't... For some reason, I have a trouble sorting out the numbers. It isn't the most downloaded one, but it's in the top 10 for anime.
Yep, no, still fairly popular. But yeah, all right. So, anyways, next, my number 8th pick is one I had a lot of trouble with because it is Lupin the Third.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem was, what Lupin do I add? Because god damn it, I like a lot of Lupin. But I ended up on the one that we talked about, the Lupin specials, and I ended up having to pick between one of two specials, which was Walther P38, or Island of Assassins.
Oh, of course, yes.
Or First Contact. And after debating myself over and over again about it, I decided to land on First Contact. Because, god damn it, that OVA is so, or that special rather, is so nice. The, once again, kind of going back and looking at another early story of how the Lupin gang met and got to know each other, and which they've done a lot. And, can't really get a story straight, but I just love the entire presentation of it. Especially at the end as well, when it just kind of comes up and be like, oh man, what an interesting story Jigen told me. And it turns out it isn't Jigen, it's actually been Lupin the entire time. And it's like, is any of this even true, or did he just make it up? And it's like, the mystery of it all. It's just, it's such a good episode. I love Lupin. I love Lupin a lot. Can't wait for part 6.
Yeah, they announced part 6. Super fun.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely. Hoping for more of the Takashi Koike movies as well. We have 3 of them. I hope he makes another one. I want to see one. I want to see one focused on Senegata before we get the inevitable Lupin one. That'd be great. That
would be awesome because like he did some really cool. Before getting obsessed with Lupin, one of the stories for Senegata is that he's actually like the best cop in the world. So he can just dismantle huge, like, organized crime societies alone.
I mean, you see that a lot in the main series as well. When he's not dealing with Lupin, he'll take on like entire gangs by himself and win easily. It's like he clearly knows what he's doing. But yeah,
Lupin is true OP.
Oh, yeah. I figured out how to sort it properly. Yay!
Yay! Good job. We're learning here. We're a professional podcast. But yeah, no.
Exo shit.
Yep.
Well, so it's actually not because I had to combine the old Podbean downloads from now our Anchor downloads. So I had to combine the cells and then sort it accordingly. But the column, only the one column was sorting, as opposed to all of the columns together. And there was kind of a clash of, I guess, the Google Sheet mixing with the Excel. So I had to kind of put an if statement in there as well. So I do have the 2 datas together.
Woo.
Yay.
Nice.
You're going to be super
Excel.
You're going to be super surprised what's our new number 1.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll say it later.
Number 7.
Right. Number 7, yes, of course.
Yeah, I realized that. I just let the silence sink in a little bit for comedy effect. Number 7 is Bebop High School. Just like Tori to put it a little bit lower, but Bebop High School is my redemption arc. Because you motherfuckers keep saying I just recommend bad anime. So it's like, okay, fine, I'll do a good recommendation. There we go. Watch this. I'm not doing it again. So rejoice while you last, and we rejoiced a lot. That is a lot of fun. So fun. Like we kept using the fucking delinquent jokes for like 6 fucking months. It was in every single episode, every single podcast. Someone was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna pull this still." And something.
The fucking defense subversion. That's so. Man, that's like half the show as well, just the fan subversion of that. Just seeing the jokes he put in there into the fucking... So pointless, but I love it.
Yeah, it is great. It's great. Great show.
All right. I got number 7 to be Touch. Kind of, Touch. So I gave a couple of the seasons a very high score, and then a couple of the other seasons a not as high score, but it all kind of aggregated together to a good little average, and it ended up coming out at number 7 for me. That was, let's see, we took, 4 episodes in total over the course of like 3 years to download the entire show? Or to download, to watch and review the entire show. Let's see, episode 1 was way back. Let's see, there's Gatchaman. Got some good ones here. When did we start? Okay, so our first episode was July 2019. And our final episode was March of 2021. So yeah, took 3 years.
Well, we got there though.
We did
We got
get there. It's a romance anime with baseball elements to it, and as you go on, baseball kind of takes more of a precedent, but the love story's still there. Yeah, we're a podcast of our word. We did eventually review it all, and it was a lot of fun. It was a good show.
Definitely. All right. So my number 7 is yet another OVA. In case anybody's confused, I do like me some OVAs, especially the 80s and 90s OVAs. It's just I'm sad whenever I look at the state of OVAs today. It's not the same. Give me the bonkers good old days when OVAs actually mattered. But this OVA is really fucking good, and it's Trust and Betrayal. Rurouni Kenshin, Trust and Betrayal.
Yes.
Man, I watched that OVA twice. I loved it even more the second time. It's so good. I fangirl. I'm not even into Rurouni Kenshin. I don't even think I've seen the main series. Pretty sure I haven't actually. It's like, but there's just something about that OVA. The beautiful narrative, how it's constructed, and even just still having to fucking look at the fact that this OVA was made by Dean, and then having to wonder about what the fuck happened to them, because goddamn it, that OVA is just, it's so beautiful. It looks so good. Good old days, good old days. Now Dean can either do well or terrible. There is no in between.
There's no in between. Not at all.
Yep. But yeah, no, Trust and Betrayal, again, one of those things which, like, if you haven't seen it, do yourself a favor. So amazing.
Hickey.
Yeah. Number 6 is Jinro, the Wolf Brigade. Like, that movie is just way too good. I also went a little bit over the anime movie. I watched the live action movies as well, and they are also very good. Even though the first one is very, very weird. It was such a mindfuck experience, that first movie. It's so trippy. And then, like, it's just comedy, and then nothing makes sense. The narrative doesn't make sense. And you go to the end, it's just 1 or 2 hours of full confusion. And spoilers, it is confusing because the main character actually got shot and died at the beginning of the movie. So what you experience through the movie of Jinro, the first live action, is actually his dying thoughts. So it's very trippy. It's really cool. And like the animation is just amazing. Like, the story is amazing. The character's design is amazing. The armor, the wolf armor, it's just the MG34s and 42s they carry around, everything. The blood spray and stuff. It's so good, so good, so good. I gave it a 9. That was episode 53, so it wasn't a long time ago. I guess last year? Or 2019, end of 2019? Well, yeah, it was just an amazing experience. Definitely watch this movie and the live actions.
Yeah, Jinro was November 2019. All right.
And it's been such a long time.
Yeah, number 6, I also have a movie. It is Akira. Perhaps you've heard of it.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, that was the same episode we did the spring 2019 impressions. Same episode. Akira is a very famous movie from the 80s. It has pretty I've strong opinion. Pretty good animation, I would say. It's pretty good stuff there.
Yeah, it's all right.
Maybe a little controversial.
Maybe a bit.
Yeah. Tetsuo, mindfuck, ending rushed, whatever. Yeah, I give that a 9 out of 10, of course. Much like, and then from here on, I think I gave everything else a 10. So, good stuff there.
Him. You guys giving, JD giving away too many 10s.
Who cares?
Well, I was going to say Hickey does the same, but of course he doesn't. He doesn't give anything a 10.
Nah, everything's a 9 for him.
Okay. All right. So, yeah. My next one is also a movie. And it's Ghost in the Shell. the first movie, Roshi.
Oh yeah.
I liked Ghost in the Shell the first time I watched it, but I wasn't huge on it. Which is why Ghost in the Shell has normally been lower on my lists whenever I thought about these things. But after we rewatched it for the podcast, I just came out of it with a completely different experience. I've seen way more Ghost in the Shell. I know way more about it. And just seeing everything tie back into that movie, and I'm just like, dude, I missed so much the first time. Holy fuck. I felt like I was watching a whole different movie.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It was insane.
I also gave it a high score.
Yeah. Yep. No, I love Ghost in the Shell. It's so much fun. I want to be a little bit controversial and say that I would recommend this movie.
Yeah, I mean,
I
don't know. I think The Matrix is better, but episode 75 was when we covered that, May in 2020, a year ago.
Good times. See, we do sometimes cover good shows.
Sometimes.
Just not when Hickey recommends them.
Hey, Bebop High School Redemption Arc.
That's one.
I do on purpose.
I know you do.
Hey,
yeah, that's right.
Just to kind of
for episode 101, because episode 101 is probably the shittest show we will ever watch in our lives.
No, come on. Oh well, since you bring it up, I kind of want to do a short interruption of what do you think is the worst show we've ever reviewed on this podcast?
Oh shit, son.
Because I'm looking at sums. We got let's see here. I gave Psychono a 2. That was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Stainless Knight was a 2, but
Hey man, that's amazing. You shut your face.
Grappler Baki was really bad.
Grapple Baki was just. I know a lot of people like Grapple Baki, but that was hard.
Witch Hunter Robin was terrible. That's got a low score.
Oh man, yeah, fucking. I guess it goes into a pretty controversial and pretty similar topic for me. I mean, I've only ever dropped 2 shows on this podcast. That's Blue Gender and Initial D. But I know people like both of those shows, but I most certainly do not.
I guess, technically speaking, Twinkle Minori Star?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But the director is such a cool dude.
I know.
Like, come on. He hired a cosplayer to cosplay Nora and sit in the back of a fucking Harley with him. Like, that dude he just lived a dream. Like, it's so hard to call it a bad show, but
I mean, it is a bad show, but at the same time, it is. I respect it too much because fucking imagine being that much of a Chad that you have your fucking waifu and nobody wants to make an anime of her, so you're just like, fine, I'll do it myself.
Yeah,
nobody wants a sequel because it was trash. You're like, fine, I will do it again.
I think Hickey, you're onto something there.
As a dancing midget. And fuck you, I'm gonna buy a Harley Davidson and put a fucking cosplayer in the back. Like, it's so hard. Don't like the like. If we watched the show without the context of the director, definitely it would be the worst. But the guy's such a Chad. God damn it.
Yeah, in case you were
this word, but there's no better way to describe it.
In case you were lost on that one, back in episode 78, we did a trio of, let's call them low-budget OVAs. And they were Cypher, Twinkle Nora Rock Me, and Papillion Rose. It was quite the experience. Go back and listen to that one. I think technically...
Cypher as well.
Yeah, I mentioned Cypher.
I mean, come on. Like, Cypher's I think the best description I've ever had for Cypher is just Cypher's literally just the 80s, the anime.
Yeah. I think it's safe to say.
Yes, I can also go with Dumbine.
Oh yeah,
Dumbine was a pain.
Yeah, it was. So
I don't know why people in Japan really, really likes Dumbine.
Well, it was the original the original
Bandai thing.
Yeah.
Yes, by Tomino. I also think it's sad to know that fucking Dunbine is not even the worst in that series. Because fucking, like, Tomino made another one over here as well that's based on that. And it's apparently, like, Darcy's Wing, I guess. Which is apparently even worse. And I'm just like, oh my god.
That makes sense.
How do you do that? That's impressive.
All right.
That's impressive, especially for a guy who went on to be so fucking influential.
Not wrong. Not wrong at all. Okay, Hickey. What are we at? Number 5?
All
Number
right.
6?
Moving on. Yeah.
Number five.
5. My number 5
Top
is
5.
City Hunter.
Hey, that's a
This
fun
one,
show.
I also went a little bit over the animation, and I watched the French live action movie. And it's probably the best live action movie out there. It is so fun. Like City Hunter is already amazing, so it's good when you have a live action being able to capture the spirit of the show. And it's such a ridiculous show with the Mokori and like
Did somebody say Mokori?
such a good show. I cannot wait for us to do City Hunter 2 that eventually will happen. It's just that City Hunter 2 has, 70-something episodes, so we need to prepare for that. Really, really fun. Really, really fun to watch. Really, really fun to watch with people. Really, really fun to talk about.
So we did City Hunter back in March of 2020.
Yes, so episode 71.
Yes. All right, my number 5 is Princess Mononoke. Also, Yata joined us for that one. That was the same episode we talked about our Ghibli fandom, and that was episode 68 in February 2020. If you haven't heard of Princess Mononoke, it is a Ghibli film that is quite good and held in high regard, and we agreed, pretty much. So, no shock there. Tori, number 5.
Number 5. I kind of didn't want to put this on the list, to be honest, because to be completely fair, don't listen to this podcast.
Oh, what do you mean?
So we did a podcast very early on over Neon Genesis Evangelion.
We did, yes. It was like 4.5 hours long.
It was 4.5 hours of, oh my god, the podcast is so bad. Please don't watch it. Please don't listen to it. It's so absolutely terrible. I really like NGE, but god damn it, I think we did an absolutely awful job with that. So yeah.
Let me look at the download numbers here for NGE.
Back in the day when
Back
we
in
used
the
to
good old
do
day.
fucking 5-hour podcast. Just
Back in the day when we used to be 4 people.
that was short-lived.
That was very short-lived, yes.
Yeah, that was like 2 episodes.
No, I was not in that.
Yeah, it's like a top 20 downloaded show. I'm looking at it.
God damn it. Nobody wants to listen to that. It's too long and it's not good.
Anime-wise,
Maybe
it's
we-
top 20. Right below Dunbine.
You know what? Fair.
That's sad, but
No.
understandable. It's the early, kind of one of the early ones.
I mean, we could always do a
But yeah.
redo if you want.
You
I'd
don't
rather
like
not.
NG. What are you going to do with it? Maybe watch the remake?
Oh, we could do the
movies?
movies, yeah.
That's true.
Like 3.0 just 3.0? 4.0?
4.0.
4.0? Yeah, 4.0 just came out, so
That would be an
Nah,
interesting kind of comparison to see what we think with the old one and how the movies hold up.
Man.
How
I can
old-
just
how
say right
old
now,
is the
I
first
still
movie?
hate Shinji.
The first movie
Is that 2006?
It might be... No, 2007.
Ooh.
Yeah. 7 was 1.0, 2009 was 2.0, and 2012 was 3.0. And it took all the way to 2021. We
So
got 3.0 plus
next
1.0.
year.
I don't
Next
know.
year we could do
You'll
the
have,
movie.
You'll have to convince me why we should.
redemption for what you guys think is a bad episode.
But it has PTSD of.
I really do. I really.
Podcast 4 years ago, we did a fucking podcast on NG, and even to this day, Tori is scared.
Listen, man, I'm shell-shocked. This is my non-flashback.
Shell-shocked.
This is my non-flashback. I'm sitting here and I'm just like, somebody brings up NG and I just fucking break out in cold sweat and I just visualize us recording that podcast.
I mean, yeah, it was hot that day.
It was hot that
I was
day.
inside of a car, but I was in a very
All
hot
days
place.
of car recordings with Icky. Oh, man.
Yeah, the good old days where I almost died out of
The
carbon
fun after
dioxide
every
intoxication.
podcast. Yeah, the fun after every podcast. Like, I need to open a window.
Yeah. Oh man, it is hot here.
All right,
And cars are
number
very hot.
number 4.
Yeah, but it should be winter right now, or close to winter. But it's like 30 Celsius outside. Anyway, I think it's me now.
Yes,
Number
it is.
4. This one, it cannot be knocked out any further in my list, and I don't think it will ever be out of the top 10 list. It is Future Boy Conan. I give it an 8. It was episode 29. I think 2018, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I have it in front of me if you want me to
2018. This year
confirm.
was just I don't know the dates. I know I only put the episode number.
Episode 29, July 2018. We also did spring
2018,
season
almost-
reviews and summer outlook.
Almost 4 years ago. Yeah. Future Boy Conan is probably one of the best shows out there. Even though it's quite old. It's such an influential show that it appeared in Eikozen a few
Eizouken.
seasons back.
Yeah,
Eizouken.
keep your
Keep your hands off Eizouken. So it was such a blast to watch. It's just adventure, a pure adventure show. Boy raised in an island goes out in the world to save stuff from bad people ish. Don't you mechanize and industrialize everything. Very 70s, 80s story of adventure. Kind of the Tarzan syndrome. Anyway, really fun, really fun episode. Also to record because we all really enjoyed the show and gave a nice, relaxed, and an enjoyable discussion over it. So I have fond memories. It's not a PTSD, it's just fond memories of episode 29 of this podcast. A fuzzy, warmy feeling that I don't feel too much because I'm a piece of trash, but that's another matter for another time.
Okay.
Go, JJ.
I actually was able to pull up something that combined. Okay. Anyways, sorry, I got off mind track. Samurai X is number 4. Tori, I believe you already spoke about that. It's a Rurouni Kenshin movie, origin story. We did it on the same episodes of the Crunchyroll Awards back in March of 2019, episode 44. It still holds up very well to this day. Well animated, good little story to it. It's on a more serious note, not a lot of comedy. Number 4 for me.
Yeah. And my number 4 is one that JD already brought up. The Cowboy Bebop episode.
Yep, there you go.
It's again, podcast was a bit some stuff happened, maybe.
Some stuff happened, maybe, sort of, kind of.
But yeah, no.
I want
The
to have
show is
PTSD, y'all. Like, I'm sweating right now. Oh my god, that is so. Oh my fucking
It was
god.
fun arguing with
I-
JD for a while. It just never ended.
Yeah, I hate people in general, but that episode makes me hate JD for a good 2 years.
Wow, you really hold a grudge
exclusively.
over just a drunken ramble.
I do. Like, oh, dude, it wasn't just a drunk rap.
You didn't give up on your point either. It's like you refused to let go.
I just wanted to just close Discord and go to bed. Like I didn't want you. Oh my god! Go watch that episode. That one is a fun one.
Well, there's a reason why it's one of the top 10.
I'm pretty sure in that episode, I said, JD, you're so lucky that I don't live close to you, because if I was just going to your house and beat the shit out of you.
Wow,
At some
so
point
violent.
I said that in that recording.
So
It's
violent.
there. It's there. I remember saying that. Yeah, I hold grudges for a long time. I'm a lawyer.
All right. Now you listeners, you need to go back and check that to see if that's true. But yeah, anyways,
That's
it was
true. Or said that off recording.
that could also happen. But yeah, no, anyways, Cowboy Bebop. I really like it. I've said this many times before. Cowboy Bebop got me into anime. It's back into anime, I guess. That was what I learned when I learned what anime was. Now this was the show I watched, and yeah, it still holds a special place in my anime fandom. I love it a lot. No matter what anybody else will ever say about it, this will always be special for me.
It's a fun show. My number 3 is just like Future Boy Conan, something that will always be on my top 10 list because it's just good. The end, and that is Ain of Green Gables.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I gave it an 8. It was episode 21. Shows from the 70s. It's a coming of age story. You just watches the story of Ain. It's a classic book. There's more books about the series. I read actually. I went and read End of Green Gables, the two of the books. I think it's 4 or 5. All the way from she's her childhood as an orphan, going to some distant relative's house to be raised, and up all the way to university. I think you see her growing with her friends and going to school. Nothing really too amazing, but the storytelling and just everything about the show, like this, the original story from the books are very good, and they did a very good job adapting it to anime with the resources they had at the time. So this is the 70s. It's not. I suppose it wasn't that easy to produce such a nice looking, well animated piece of animation.
It was part of the World Masterpiece Theater block, which means that this show was hell to produce. It was expensive as fuck. I'm pretty sure they traveled to Canada as well to actually get first-hand experience and pictures to actually be able to more faithfully draw what it was supposed to look like. Find that out, and that's travel has become a lot easier.
That's a lot of commitment. Yeah.
So
that's
it's
the
great.
70s. They were probably, but you already had streamliners, the jet streamliners, but goddamn.
And then just imagine the fact that it's not like this is anime. It's not like they were making lots of money and could easily just spend that production money on a trip to Canada. So that's but Dan and Green Gables is still one of my one of the ones I'm the most happy about, since I was the one who recommended it. I'm still proud of that one because, god damn it, I managed to make JD like a slice of life show or a coming of age show.
Damn right. No, it's good. Good stuff. Okay. My number 3, Hickey, you already spoke about it. It's Future Boy Conan. Way back in episode 29, already spoke about it. It's one of my favorite anime of all time, and one of my favorite anime we've done on the podcast. It kind of goes into that whole situation where you're always hesitant to review one of your favorite shows, and I'm still
sure.
Yeah, and I kind of took a back seat and let you guys review that show more than myself, because then it would be kind of biased over praise kind of situation. I still kind of did that, but you guys ended up liking it as well, so I feel kind of vindicated. And it pulls up as number 3 on mine for what we reviewed, and it's one of my favorite reviews we've done for the podcast.
Yeah.
Tori.
Speaking of one of my favorites, surprisingly, this is a throwback to episode 1 when we reviewed Ashita no Joe. And oh my god, I love Ashita no Joe ever since I watched it. It's hard to understand, right? Because obviously, Star of the Giants was the first sports anime.
Mm-hmm.
But god damn it, Ashita no Joe has shaped sports anime more than most things. Like, you still, to this day, see how sports anime adapt their stories. And it's still just like, yep, that's like how they did it back in Ashita no Joe, back in 1970. It's an amazing show. It's got, I was going to say it's got really likable characters, but technically it has really unlikable characters. And yet it's still just amazing what it manages to pull with that cast of characters. The stories it weaves, the twists, the foreshadowing, the everything, the boxing matches. I was like, despite the fact that it's barely animated, I'm still just on the edge of my seat watching these fights. It's such an amazing piece of storytelling. I love Ashita no Joe. It's one of my all-time favorites anime anyways, so yeah, it absolutely had to go on the top 10. I think it's amazing.
Yeah, and I'm really glad as a retro anime podcast when we came up with this idea and got together that was the first one we decided to do. Really go as far back as possible. Got a banger of a show out of the way, and Hickey, I believe you still haven't watched it yet.
Oh yeah, right.
I got called out. God damn it! I was like, yeah. I was there for the first quarter. I think I had something to do. I was like, oh, I'm going. Bye. Yeah, I will. The problem is I have a friend that's been really pissing me off for the past 5 years to watch Share Hick recommended, so I started watching Agretsuko. So maybe like it's been 4 years, so maybe next year we'll watch it. I also started like playing Tales of Vesperia, but that one's like 7 years talking, telling me to play that game. So after 7 years, I start playing it. Yeah, it takes a lot of time. I'm very stubborn.
And
just like how I hold a grudge.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be a surprise, but it's still a top 5 downloaded anime and listened from the show to this day.
That's good.
Oh, I believe it.
Yep.
I listened to the episode, by the way. So I
have
listened to the review. Yeah, of course. It's fucking episode 1.
All right, Hickey, number 2. We're getting to the last two, and then I can reveal the top 3 downloaded episodes that we've ever had for the podcast, which is kind of fun little data thing.
My number 2, my second, and my top 10. It is definitely, probably my actually favorite series, and that is Legend of Galactic Heroes. We took 4 episodes to finish. Episodes 39, 61, 77, and 81. From December, let's see, that one I have dates. It went from December 18th, 2018 to August 18th, 2020. So same day, different months and years, but hey, it is probably one of the best stories in anime out there. There are so many characters. There are so many stories, like little story nucleus happening at the same time. It is a romance, of course. So that is the definition of a romance. But it's so well made,
Mm-hmm.
Even when the heroes, like technically the guys should be the heroes, lose, it's like, well, yeah, it's justified. Like, then the people die and you actually get sad, even though they weren't that cool people to begin with, but everyone is so developed. Even the background characters that only appear in 2 episodes, they are so fleshed out. It's so good. I'm waiting the newer one that is more faithful to the books, to the novels, to finish adapting the OVA so I can watch everything, because apparently they are better than the original series. But it is,
I don't know. The original series, I think, holds up incredibly well.
so far, because it's already over. That's why I'm waiting the OVAs to finish, so I can kind of have a fair comparison,
Sure.
right? But like the original series is such a enjoyable journey that it go through. So good. That is the only thing I can say about Legend of the Galactic Heroes. Like the politics, everything. Politics are not boring in this show. Like oh my god, dude, I cannot. I'll stop because I can go for hours and hours and hours talking about Legend of the Galactic Heroes.
I'll
Definitely
just say,
my favorite one.
Yeah, I'll just say, I mean, again, just to kind of reiterate like how big that thing is, like how important it is. It's like what, 110 episodes?
Yep.
But it's not a 110 episode TV series, it's a 110 episode OVA. You don't just get that for anything. Most OVAs are like 2-3 episodes.
Yeah, no. I was like every 2 months they would release an OVA.
Yeah.
So like imagine every 2 months you have to go to a store and buy a cassette tape for an OVA episode. That is huge, dude. That's a lot of money and a lot of commitment. But goddamn, I'm so glad that happened, because it's such a good show. Such a good show.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because it's also my number 2. I feel that we've already gone on long enough on it. Tori?
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I'm glad you guys enjoyed that a lot. It is definitely not on my top 10, though.
Just you. He's all alone, Hickey.
It's okay. Legend of the Galactic Heroes is just my kind of story. Just
mine
I
too.
like it a lot as well, but it just didn't make it into my top 10. Which is just, again, it's nothing about quality, it's just personal. It's just personal Legend of Galactic Heroes. But yeah, now my number 2 is, well, Anne of Green Gables.
No.
Same thing. It's like Anne of Green Gables, and Ashitano Joe were like 2 of the first anime that I saw from the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's amazing. I love it. I'm a sucker for a good coming of age story anyways. I mean, my favorite show of all time is already animation, and that is a coming of age story. So, shock horror, I like these types of stories. And then just, I'd heard on good word before that Anne of Green Gables was good. But I was like, 70s. Is it really that good? And then I watched it, and it's just, and I still to this day maintain that this show has some of the best use of time, like span of time I've ever seen in an anime. Like, god damn it. The way how the first half is so slow because everything is new, and then as things keep progressing and, you don't have to see every day at school anymore and shit like that, it just keeps going, and suddenly, like, everything just kind of speeds up. Time is passing and is growing. She's making small, gradual changes, which you start noticing, and then the characters start pointing it out, and it's like suddenly, you start noticing the little things, like her feet now reach the table, she's not as skinny anymore, yada, 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 freckles disappear, things like that, and it just keeps going. It's the attention to detail. It's so good. I love it. I love it so much.
Yeah, definitely. Again, for a 70 show, it's just so much details, everything.
The
Like
backgrounds, you could literally just screenshot them and put them on the wall. They're beautiful color-painted backgrounds.
Yeah. Like you have intermediaries, the season changes in the background. It's just so good, so well made. We need to do more Word Master Theater anime.
Let's do Moomin.
All right, Hickey, number 1. Let's finish this out.
My number 1, of course, it is my only 10 anime out there. George Van Can.
You troll.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I need to talk about, I guess, George McCann. Episode 82, I had a emergency, so I couldn't participate, but I watched the whole George McCann. And it is very dumb. A lot of things doesn't make sense. George McCann should be immortal because there's always sunlight, technically, because the moon reflects sunlight on Earth. So he's technically immortal, but they need to nerf him. At some point, this is a kid show, a guy just fucking put a bullet on his own head in front of 2 kids. I was like, holy shit, that is fucking metal as fuck. But anyway, my first one, I will not say the name because it is the same story.
Oh,
I believe.
okay.
If it starts with a G,
It does indeed.
right? Yeah, it's the same, and Tori gave it a 10. So I'm pretty sure he is more qualified to just spend the next half hour gushing over this anime than I am. I give it a 9, by the way, this show.
All right,
So
my
what would you
number
tell?
one.
If it's not the same one, and he just like, oh yeah, it starts
Yeah,
with
he
a
trolled
G. It is Gotcha, man. I would just come
It's
back. to that
Galaxy
story.
Express 39.
Yeah,
It's the
I mean,
Gundam
yeah.
trilogy. Mecha, his favorite genre.
So if it's, I hope it's the same. It's not. I will just interfere. It's like, okay, let me go back. Let me redo my bit.
JD, go.
Or go, JD.
All right, my number one, Anne of Green Gables. It was the most surprising anime we covered on the podcast that I really enjoyed. We covered it episode 21. Our topic was World Masterpiece Theater, April 1st, 2018. It still holds up. It's also my favorite podcast episode we've recorded on this 100-episode journey. Tori, you've already gushed about it enough. It made all of our top 10s. I think it might be the only show that did that.
No, it did all the top 3. Mine is the 3rd, Tori's 2nd, and yours is first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's the best episode.
Yeah, pretty much.
yeah, best
Yeah.
episode of them all. We were kind of close with 2 out of 3 on a lot of our lists, but Anne of Green Gables, praise across the board. Definitely go listen to that episode. It's one of our least downloaded episodes, which, of course, that's how it works.
Of course it is. That's, yeah.
It's
Oh,
a
well,
cult
even-
classic already.
But
It was
but
before.
from the like
thing.
DMs and mal messages that I get, it probably converts the most people to listen to the podcast on a kind of per listener basis, or at least that's the one we get the most feedback from a positive perspective.
I believe it.
So at least we have that to put on our shoulder. Tori,
Hell yeah.
talk about the Gundam movie trilogy as your number one.
So yes, my number one is the Gundam movie trilogy. Oh no, I hate the I hate Gundam.
For a while, that was our top top downloaded episode anime.
I know it was.
For a number of years. It was.
I know. It makes me sad every time. No, so my number one favorite is Gankutsu, the Count of Monte Cristo. So JD's already mentioned this one before.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's just, oh my god, like, so Gankutsu is a show that I have heard people talk about for years. I remember getting into anime. I remember like finding anime reviewers on YouTube, and all I kept hearing was Gankutsu, Gankutsu, Gankutsu. It's amazing. You should watch it. And I was just, and I had that like moment that's like new anime fan-ish that I assume a lot of people had with like Cowboy Bebop and whatnot, which is just like Full Metal Alchemist and those kinds of shows, which is just like, I get it, you like it, but I don't care. There's no way it's this good because everybody keeps talking it up. So I know I'm going to hate it. I don't want to watch it. And I was like, it looks slightly interesting. I guess I'll put it on the plan to watch list and get to it one day when I have time. And of course, as everything that I do put on my plan to watch list, that never happens until we finally went ahead and did it on the podcast. And I'm like, this is my excuse. I still had that in the back of my mind, though. It's like, it probably won't be that good. I'll probably enjoy it, but I can't see myself loving it. Holy fuck, was I wrong. Man, this show is just, it's stylish as all hell, but God, the story is... Yeah, I mean, again, I gave it a 10. I give a few 10s, but it goes quite a long time since I give, between every time I give a show a 10. And I've never given a show a 10 on the podcast before in 100 episodes until, well, this one. So, basically, if we do another 100 episodes, maybe you'll see another 10 from me. At some point. But yeah, no, it's just a special show. It cracked its way into my top 5. It means it's up there with shows for me like Loop on the Third, A Woman Called Fujiko Mina, Fate Zero, shit like the shows like Aria, the animation, of course. Like it's on a whole it's on a whole different level for me for a lot of other anime. I was captivated by it. I didn't think I would, but yeah, no, it's amazing.
Yeah, the one thing I've really enjoyed about doing this podcast with you guys, and of course I gotta thank you guys for doing this for 4 years with me. 3 guys from 3 different continents coming together talking about old ass anime.
Excuse me, JD.
What?
Geography. I'm
3
in
different
the same continent as you.
No, you're not.
I am. There's only one American continent. It's a whole strip. It's one called America.
You need to work on your geography, Hickey.
You need to work.
How many continents are there in the world, Hickey? Do I need to call you out on that?
7. I
Okay.
think.
So,
Yeah.
you want to count them out?
Yeah. Antarctica, the Arctic. Then no, wait. The Arctic is no. The Arctic is. Hold on. It's been a while. You have America, Europe, Africa, Asia, Arctic, and Antarctica,
No, Hickey.
and Oceania. 7.
No.
Yes.
No.
Tori.
I'm sorry, Hickey, you're wrong.
I am.
You are wrong.
How many there is?
There's 7, but
There's
you're
7.
wrong with with what there are.
That's how I learned in school.
Your
There's no
school
3
needs
American
to be-
continents.
Oh no.
There's no 3 American continents. I am sure of it.
Oh no.
The American continent is divided in 3 major regions, but they're not 3 continents.
Is that really what they taught you in school?
Yes.
All right. If that's what they taught you in
Everything is
school.
America.
7 regions are Asia, Africa, North America, South America, Antarctica, Europe, and Australia.
What? No.
Sorry,
No,
Hickey.
you're wrong.
This is the greatest
You're
revelation
wrong.
ever.
You're wrong.
No, what? Hold on.
Your education is a lie.
Let me see.
It's okay. You're not a
Anything
geographist. It's fine.
It's okay. It's okay, Hickey. It's okay.
It's okay. It's
world-
fine.
flat.
Let's see here. There is here in the Brazilian side, America, Europe, Asia, Africa, Oceania, and Antarctica. Then the Arctic, but it is a little bit iffy. People don't agree if it's a continent or not. See, that's what it taught me.
Hey man, if that's what they teach you in
1,
school,
2, 3, 4.
go for it. It's
Yeah,
fine.
6 continents and 7 if you consider the Arctic as your continent, like just a continent.
We've learned the difference.
So yeah,
We have learned the difference in some education systems today.
Yeah, because that is definitely not the same in the rest of the world.
No, it is definitely not. That is not what Tori and I learned. So good. We got some world perspective here on education. Great. So the top 5 anime podcasts that's been downloaded over the years. Number 5 is Ashita no Joe, which I mentioned earlier. Number 4 is Saikano.
Oh my god.
Number 3
Yeah.
is Excel Saga.
Hey.
2 is Stainless Night, mentioned that earlier.
yeah.
And number 1, do you guys care to guess?
I don't know. I don't wanna. I will think about it.
Was something I recommended?
Probably.
Because like there's only one other show, right?
Take a guess. Take a fun little guess.
I mean, I hope it's not too hard, honestly.
It is not too hard. Tori, what is your guess?
Thank God.
If it's not too hard, then what?
What would it be? The initial D?
That is a very good guess, and that was number 1 for a long time, but has fallen out of the top 5 over the last year or two.
It's not Sailor Moon, right?
It is not Sailor Moon. It is Witch Hunter Robin.
Oh no!
Oh
Yeah.
my God! What?
Since the day that has come out, it has exploded and just kept gaining. It's the difference between Witch Hunter Robin and Stainless Night compared to anything else below those two shows. It's not even close. They got a good couple thousand above every other show. So something about those two shows.
We need to have a talk.
Look, we know why Stainless Night probably gets the big downloads because it's a hentai episode. But Witch Hunter Robin, I have no explanation. Maybe it just...
Well, I guess people don't like the show, and it's like, I want to watch that show because you always hear about Witch Hunter Robin. I was like, oh, cool.
But you always hear about a lot of the shows we've covered on this podcast.
Yeah. I mean,
fucking Pokemon. Everybody's heard Pokemon and Dragon Ball, but those aren't in the top 5 or 10.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, to be fair though, there's also dedicated podcasts to those shows. Like there's the One Piece podcast and whatnot. And
also true. Yes.
I don't necessarily think most people care too much about hearing other people's thoughts on that. It's like, well, I have an opinion on One Piece. It's like fantastic. Get in line.
Yeah, and then just loosely looking, Belladonna of Sadness is high up there.
Yeah.
Dunbine, Ava, Samurai X is up there. That's nice.
Yeah.
Space Battleship Yamato, Serial Experiments Lane, Gundam Movie Trilogy.
Serial Experiment isn't a Serial Experiment. Space Battleship Yamato was also one we can do more on later.
We definitely could do more. We could do the sequels. Yeah, we could do some movies. And Berserk is that had a big uptick, unfortunately, recently. And Battle Angel Alita is way up there as well. That was a long one.
That was a long one.
Yep. Okay. Well, those were our top 10 reviewed anime for this podcast. Over 100 episodes in the books. Now we have a review of an anime that is quite appropriate for, geekdom of anime and the like. We're reviewing Otaku no Video, and I think it's time for a drop, and we'll get into that.
It's an invitation to my birthday tomorrow. I hope you'll be able to make it to the party.
I'll kill you.
Okay. I played the Gundam drop of the birthday I'll kill you thing for you two to know, in case you were wondering. Okay. So we're reviewing Otaku no Video, otherwise known as Geeks Video in English, I suppose.
What a title.
What a title. It is a 2-episode OVA series from the fall of 1991. It is by Studio Gainax. It is a mockumentary and of various otaku culture and making fun of, I guess, the foundation of Gainax. Is that a way to put it?
Yeah, kind of. Like it's partly based on how Gainax was founded.
Yeah.
In the first place. That's why they're making a lot of references to like Daikon and whatnot.
Right.
That's what they gained infamy for. Daikon films.
Director is Takeshi Mori. He's known for, let's see here. A lot of storyboard stuff. He also directed Melty Lancer, a Ranma 1/2, I guess, OVA. Skullman. I've never heard of like most of these. He's been in
Gunsmith
Van
Cats.
Dread.
Gunsmith Cats.
Where's Gunsmith? Oh, he did direct Gunsmith Cats. All right, so that's the one that we've actually covered. So there you go. Otaku no Video. Guys, I didn't like this very much.
I saw that.
Yeah, it's a 48 episode 48 minutes per episode. There's 2 of them. The live interview stuff that kind of segmented in between the anime itself, I found that interesting at least, but it wasn't something I wasn't already aware of and existed, at least in, Japanese culture of otaku fandom. And but the story with the anime was very kind of disjointed to me. I felt like we were missing key elements and parts to this wacky story they were telling. It was definitely over the top, and that's not really what I didn't like about it. Just, I know it's a mockumentary, but it didn't come across as funny, nor I didn't get the feeling that they weren't taking themselves too seriously. It felt like it came across as serious. And that's kind of why I didn't like it.
It's Japanese.
I
realize
I love it. I love it.
too.
Like I really like the show, but probably because it doesn't matter I guess I understood the feeling. Kind of doesn't matter. Of course, it's making jokes and everything. It's making fun of otaku, but it doesn't matter the time. Doesn't matter the age. The feeling is always the same. And I'm just watching this guy like talking about how when he was in college, he would just stay up all night talking about effects and like effects in anime and tokusatsu. Yeah, like, oh yeah, I had a discussion with Tori up to like 2 a.m. my time, and he was like 6 a.m. We're just talking otaku shit over the night. So like, yeah, I feel that. I understand that feeling, right? It's like, well, they were my friends. Like, we talk from time to time. Like, we had fun. Now it's just like I need to go to work and stuff like that. It's interesting. It makes being an otaku in the kind of the 80s feel like a crime. And even from time to time, they even put like the highlights, not like the news highlights.
Yeah,
like,
they did do
people
that throughout the
committing crimes and
80s.
stuff with other stuff with movies like iconic movies and stuff. I thought it was good. Like the animated part is just like the evolution, kind of mocking, like the evolution of an otaku, someone who is not interesting. Guy was just going to tennis club and stuff. Suddenly, this is fun. Like every day is fun, right? And then suddenly you realize you gain a few pounds, and you're not like treating yourself very well. And now you're just unemployed, and you need to do shit. And
It doesn't have to be that extreme, but yeah. No, I almost like
the guy in the.
No, I know. But like, I definitely feel that because it feels the same. I even had that second coming essentially, not that long ago when I got into VTubers, which is like I haven't had that experience since I got into anime. Which is like, it's like it starts with like, okay, let me check this shit out, and it just feels like somebody fucking just opens a hole beneath you, and you just fall in. It's like, oh fuck, I'm gone. There's no saving me.
No.
And that is part of what this
I've
does,
fallen
right?
and I don't want to get up.
That is exactly it. Yeah, it's like I could get up, but why should I? But no, like what I like about this is essentially, and I understand what you mean, JD. The story is nothing, right? There isn't.
Right.
It's barely connected, and it's not supposed to be. So like it's loosely connected to itself. So like I said, one of the things is that it's kind of shortly giving like a little bit of like in behind like what it was like for them getting into as college students getting into anime and kind of deciding to pursue that, and then it's kind of coming to terms with the realism of shit, like how that fucking rich dude just comes in and fucking takes out their company. It's like it's the corporatization of the whole thing, and like it kind of messes with their dreams because that's not they don't give a shit about that. They want to create the ultimate otaku land for otaku because we're fucking fucked. It's dumb, but I like it. I think it's interesting. And then of course we cannot talk about the the live action interviews.
Char.
I love
the Char one. He's like as Char, the red comment would say, and he just whips out the helmet, puts in. I was like, oh my god, this show's so good.
So,
like, but it's.
The reason why I want to talk about that as well is because I love the hearing the different takes on the on, like, it's called a portrait of an otaku, the mockumentary sections, because I love seeing what people bring up. A lot of people think the interviews are interesting. A lot of people think it's kind of disgusting what they're doing. What I love is the fact that, like, when you look behind everything, they're of course making fun of otaku, but they're making fun of themselves, because everybody that's being interviewed works for Gainax. Hideaki Anno is one of the people. Like, it's all for fun. It's all made up. It's just, they're essentially just spoofing themselves. That's why when JD said it feels too serious, I don't feel that it's that serious because of that fact. They're making fun of themselves.
They're actually probably talking about their experience.
Yes, they are.
That's why it's so serious. That's why it feels so serious. It's just
it's like looking here. Like, I'm looking at some stuff now. It's like the interviews also contains fans who engage in a range of illicit and unsavory activities, such as cell thieves, which is definitely something that's kind of died out, but, you know, it's still... I can definitely see that being a thing. A pornography fan attempting to manufacture glasses to defeat the mosaic censorship common in Japanese porn videos, which is so specific.
The guy with the glasses. It's like, I made it.
And that is Hideaki Anno.
Yeah, of course it is.
Because he is obsessed with a character in a hentai computer game, Kimiko from Gunbuster. I love that stuff.
Yeah, it's good. It's very good. Also, like, even if you don't enjoy, like JD did, the documentary part of it's still very important to this day. Not only for anime, not only for otaku. First, it shows kind of a very close understanding of what an otaku is. Otaku is a term that is started being used in the late 70s, I think. This is from the 80s. It changed a lot. It's been a long time. Even nowadays, you don't use otaku. Even in the West, you don't use that word. It came out to be a derogatory term again. Full circle. Half full circle, because at the beginning it wasn't. Now it's just weeb. Weeb. That started as a derogative term, and it's kind of a washout fan kind of scenario. But the documentary part is interesting. The information revolution is impressive in the last couple of years. Like, this is the 80s. You see, like, a bunch of cassettes, and people like, yeah, it's hard. We had to print everything. But most of the people in there are portrayed to have 20-something years of age. But they started watching anime or started being an otaku in college when they had access to that. When they had jobs, they could buy that kind of stuff. Nowadays, in Japan, even outside of Japan, people my age, which is, I'm 24 still, I have the same age as a guy from the mockumentary.
Mm-hmm.
He started watching anime when he was in college. I started watching anime and understanding what it was because of easy of access due to the internet. Almost more than 15 years ago. It's way more than him. Because I had that ease of access way before. It was more accessible on television. Like the cassette guy saying, yeah, no, like there are programs, there's anime that come out at like 3 a.m. in one station on buttfuck nowhere. Like, there's like this little specific stuff you need to watch. If you don't, it's lost forever. It's very, very interesting. Like that, the information revolution we had. It's interesting to see. The different sizes of the different types of otaku. Otaku is a fan. It's a fanatic. So we have the military otaku, and the military otaku guy doesn't care about anime. Like, it's very, very interesting. They go talk about how they organize themselves in circles, doujin circles, which is still true today. They start talking even back there about the, as Tori said, kind of the corporization of anime and otaku fandom. But they're like, well, we still have the doujin circles and we still have our comics where we can kind of be free. Nowadays, fucking Kadokawa Bandai sponsor comic. It's right. It's like you see that trend, and it's important. It's impressive to understand the part of the documentary, which is the serious part, it still holds such a nice value if you like that thing. Even now, like Wonder Festival is going on, which is for figures, and you can have you can do a virtual tour of the whole thing, and it's full of sponsorships, which is something that started as a hobby, as people modeling characters in their homes as they're doing in their show.
Yeah, like the garage kits that they went into.
Yeah, even nowadays, you still have garage kits. You still have people who do garage kits, but usually they publish, quote unquote, the garage kit through a company, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's quite impressive, like this, how it grew. Even doujin circles, how doujin circles grew. Typemon was a doujin circle. Nowadays, it's pretty much a company, a licensed out IP company. It's very, very impressive how they started talking about it, and they start talking about it as an issue back in the 80s. But who is telling that as an issue is Gainax, who's already a corporation in the 80s. So it has
a pretty bad one,
sides.
Guy Next has literally always fucking done shit, which is in the same way, which is we just do whatever the fuck. That's essentially why they eventually ended up getting in so much. Not even eventually, even in the 80s, they got in a lot of fucking issues for various reasons because they don't respect the rules, and two, they don't care about laws and shit like that. So fucking shit, we'll copy stuff. Don't give a shit. Don't care. Who gives a shit? We just want to make want to make stuff.
Like, okay, so
thing. They openly talking about child porn and researching it. It's like, the 80s, Japan.
yeah, that did happen.
So the topics discussed and the ideas of the show, I thought, were a good discussion, and it's interesting to talk about. I just don't think this handled it very well.
No,
it was more about finding an otaku with his heavy fandom, and they just kind of ask him, what does he do? And it shows like I believe it didn't it show the guy that this anime was based off of, Kubo? Didn't it show that guy where he was making a garage kit, and he just explained what entails going into making a garage kit, what's important, his thought process to it all. And they always seem to ask each otaku, like, what's his sexual life like, and they always kind of answer the same way, where it's like, what is that? I don't need that. I got my fandom.
I have a busy life.
I have a busy life.
Contrary to the rest of the population, the otaku holds traditional Japanese values to heart. I was like, sure, let's go with that.
Yeah, let's describe it that way. That's fine.
But again, they are explaining stuff, but that's kind of the point. They're making fun of it because they think it's quite silly, even if it is part of their life. Like it says here, apparently the interviews were unscripted, so they don't have a point to go off. So a lot of what they talk about is literally just what they think. which is why you get that. Like, why is he describing stuff? It's like, what do you think? He's thinking about. They're not going for a specific like, oh, you need to say these things, and it's just they just hear them out what they have to say, and then they poke fun of it.
Yeah, I mean, I did like the rawness factor of the interviews because that brought a lot of realism to it, as opposed to a lot of these, whether it's a mockumentary or documentary, to it being overly scripted, and you obviously see all these cuts, and it's very clean. The rawness factor I did like, because then you actually saw them in their real environment. Like the two that stood out to me in particular were not the last one has a different topic in itself, but the one where the guy's recording videos and he gets a phone call in the middle of the interview, and he's like fumbling with the VHS tape to record the next show in the middle of the interview. This is all going on, and they're just watching him go through this. And he's saying lines like, "No, I will never make like an amateur mistake like that again. I gotta get my respect back in this otaku community." And it's all through phone communication and tape trading and whatnot. And so that was interesting to me. And then the other one was, I had it. What were some of the other interviews? You had the guy from Portugal that moved. It wasn't him. It was
the Hideaki Anno
Excuse
watching
me?
porn. The
Oh,
Hideaki
yeah.
Anno
The
watching
one.
porn with them. It's like it makes the mosaics a little bit less fuzzy. with the nasal, like the heavy. Everyone had like the mouth breathing.
Yeah.
I did this.
Yeah, so that you sparked my memory. The one guy with he had like MS Paint on with the 2D anime girl, and she's clearly underage, and he's just openly going. And of course, they ask him about his sexual preference. He goes, "Nah, I'm way more into 2D girls." So it kind of goes into that stereotypical joke that a lot of anime poke fun at.
Prevalent back then.
Yeah, and it's still prevalent in the 80s, and he's got this kind of hoarding type apartment to it all. Nothing's clean. He's in the middle of it, and it does a close up on his hand on the mouse, and he's like shaking, and he's just clicking. I'm like, okay. I mean, yeah, there are definitely these kind of people out there.
The interview with Anu starts with him beating off his meat. Oh,
Yeah,
man.
it does. Oh man, it's great. Now, I also just really appreciate the fact that, like, because one of the things that you see a lot of these things kind of tackle, like when it goes to tackling otaku, it's kind of like, yes, otaku. It's those freaks that are way too serious about shit. But I do kind of like that here they decided to like delve into different types of otaku as well, right? It's not just like, it's not like everybody's the same.
Right. There's a whole host of different kinds,
Yeah.
whether it's creating modeling, the military, and they went into, sorry to interrupt you,
And
Tori.
even illegal shit like cell thieves.
That one was super interesting. Well, where he would just walk into an anime studio and just steal something, and he's just going on. He's smoking a cigarette. He goes, "This is my livelihood. Yeah, I'll continue doing it." And then the thought crossed my head. Wonder what he's doing now. Like, how does it's all like? What happened when it went all digital?
Cell animation, it's like, dude, I'm sorry, your business
Is fucked.
What are you gonna do? Fucking, are you gonna break into businesses with a USB stick now? Like,
Yeah, so at least, I'm not saying that the show wasn't interesting and there's a lot to discuss. There certainly is a lot of that. How it presented itself, how it went between the anime and the anime itself with Kubo, and diving into his own otaku-nism, I guess, and these interviews, it only made me feel uncomfortable and how it was tackling this and its presentation to it all. Yeah.
all right. Yeah, I definitely don't see it that way. I enjoy it because, again, it's one of the things which, like, to me it's like the anime part is the fantasy, and then the mockumentary is reality. It's like this is what they hope it was like, and this is where we're at.
Yeah, I just never got that feeling of what they were going for. It just did not hit me the way it was intended. So, the last interview where it's the dudes in the van and they're just stalking this dude walking home from whatever, buying an anime DVD or whatever he has in his bag, and they're just like, there he is. All right, sneak up on him. No, drive slow.
Hey, stop.
Hey,
stop.
And they don't do that. They fucking chase his ass down, and they're just going, hey! And this guy's rightfully...
We have some questions. Can you answer? What are you...
No, they don't do that at first. They fucking chase after this guy, and they're like, go get him! And he fucking rightfully runs for his life, because he probably thinks he's going to get kidnapped by these dudes coming out of a van. And then they're fucking tackling him right in front of his apartment complex, and then they start going, no, we just want to ask you questions, and they're fucking grabbing at his bag. This is like clearly assault at this point, and
don't call the police.
Yeah, and he's just going, get the fuck away from me, and he's trying to flee at this point back into his apartment complex, and the camera guy runs into him, opens the door, he's like, I got questions for you.
So great. Part of me just wishes, even though, again, like I said, I know that those people they work for Gainax, but part of me just hopes that they weren't actually aware of what was happening. Nobody told them they were going to do that. So they just fucking run into him in the middle of the night. Like, wait, what? What's going on?
God, that one really, because of all the other interviews were just like, yeah, we're in this guy's apartment. It's clearly been, we asked this last one was none of that. So now it got me to ask, is that how they got all these other otakus? They fucking attacked this dude and asked him, and then he goes, oh, they just want to interview me. Okay, I mean, I'll forget about the assault that you did prior and forced your way into my apartment.
Hey, man. Sometimes you've got to do what you got to do.
My God.
Yeah.
I want to interview for a podcast.
A story should be told.
Yeah, that's what you're going to do, JD. We're going to start doing interviews on the podcast, and you're just going to chase people down in the street. Hey!
And it has to be in the middle of the night, and I'm waiting outside their apartment or house. I'm sure nothing bad will happen there. Hickey, you're a lawyer. You can back me up on my claims.
Listen, man, it's not like where you are, everyone has guns.
No, America? Nah, come on, don't be silly. That's Brazil.
That'd be interesting. Just like, hey, you! Silence. Uh-oh.
My podcast interview didn't go as planned.
Fuck. What do we do now?
So how Kubo I thought the anime started pretty good with Kubo, and he reconnects with an old high school friend, and you can kind of tell his life's in a rut. He's just like, it's so average, it's whatever. And then he gets into a fandom, and it's fun. You guys mentioned a lot of this already, and his slow delve into this fandom maybe takes over his life slowly but surely.
A little bit.
Yeah, and then he realizes, I've let this kind of take over my life to the point where I lost my girlfriend, but clearly she wasn't into it in the first place because of the way he handled his just average lifestyle. And it's like, okay, that's kind of relatable if it's not working out with the girl, and you get way more into a fandom and she's not part of it. It's not gonna. The part of me thought that Kubo, and whether it was the girl that cosplaying with him, maybe that they would have combined their, I thought something was going to develop there. It's like, no, he was, his priority was definitely not any of that anymore. And
time for this, JD.
No time for that.
Otaku stuff to be had.
Yeah. And then I thought, okay, well, he wants to really take advantage of making this fandom into something of a phenomena so he can, become the Otaku King. And the woman that starts the store with them and then becomes the head artist, that girl, I thought that would become something, and then that was immediately debunked when he just goes, all right, we got the drawing, let's go. she didn't matter. not to the extent so all of my thoughts of kind of where it was going, it was actually just, no, what's more important is being an otaku and doing everything of your fandom that you could possibly do. So I'm like, okay, maybe I wasn't in the
episode 1 of Otaku no Video. Graphics showing otaku do not fuck. JD.
I know what the intent was. I just thought it was gonna. I just always
1%.
I realize this. I realize what all of the intended discussions and point to it all was. I just never thought it was going to continue going in that direction to the extent that it did. So I was definitely off base with a lot of what I was hoping for, and I didn't get it, and maybe that's my own fault. It probably is. And the way everything hit just didn't jive with me with the way it was meant to. That's all I'm saying. That's my piece.
Yeah, it is still very fun.
Well, I'm glad you guys liked it. No problem with that.
No matter if it's the 80s or if it's the 2020s, some stuff don't change.
Yeah, I mean,
it just becomes
that's
heavily
interesting.
incorporated, controlled.
Yeah, even that, they were like, hey, it's still one of those unsung parts about, well, not even the unsung part, but like things that I liked about the anime portion as well, which is just like, hey, look, we built this amazing giant company. Amazing. What do we do? It's like, oh, fuck, we're getting pushed out. Help. Corporate. Why is everything so corporate? Where's your otaku soul? And then it turns out nobody has one. They're all just businessmen. It's like, well, fuck you.
Yeah, maybe I got too
otaku to really become the otaku.
Yeah, maybe it's my own fault. I got too wrapped up in wanting some semblance of a connected story, but it never happened. So I just felt I because of that I kept tuning out.
Going out and founding Karai Studio. Oh wait, that happened in reality. Never mind.
Right.
That was not predicted.
There was a.
Like I say, it wasn't predicted. I don't think any of them realized what was going to happen.
I don't know. I think they realized it was going to happen to someone, to some extent. I mean, it wasn't even just Karai Studio. There's a few other studios that came out of Gainax.
I know.
Even Trigger.
Even Trigger.
And other
Nobody
ones.
likes Gainax anymore. Gainax now is that one dude who's just sitting in his room, fucking being like, no. I will make Uru in Blue someday. It will come out. I promise. I think the current release date is 2023. But I mean, it was set for 1995, I think, or 99. So yeah, it'll probably happen, maybe.
They just wait.
Oh man, yeah.
Well, the interview assault was definitely my favorite part of the anime, just because it threw me off and took me for a loop. I went for a ride with that one. That was my favorite part.
Yeah,
it's pretty strong. I still like the Anno interview though.
Yeah, I like the second guy, because I think it was a prelude to the last interview, because it's like, oh no, I watched the anime in college and why not? It's like, what about this magazine? Huh? It's like, wait, magazine? It's like, how the fuck did you manage to find it? How about this photo? It's like, wait, you guys found a fucking? It's not even like a photograph. It's a full portrait. It's even on the fucking fancy holder, right?
Yeah.
I was like, how the fuck did you guys just invaded this dude home to get the fucking portrait? Like, I was like, how the fuck did you guys get this one? It's like, holy shit, where is this guys getting this shit from?
I will bring up something that
the Char helmet. I cannot believe they actually got permission to quote Char.
Oh yeah.
As well.
Well, I mean, again, we've talked about this, Icky. Gainax, they probably didn't get permission.
Oh, that is true.
Don't give a shit.
Oh, I mean, this might be totally. This is probably totally unrelated, but the Isn't the Macross license free now? I don't think we ever mentioned that on the podcast, have we?
No, I don't think so.
Is it?
Is it?
Yeah, that was a big story that came out recently where the Macross license from what was that? What's that company called? Harmony Gold.
The gold.
Yeah, the lawsuit was finally settled and
Hey.
yeah, it was finally released. I think that was a month or so ago. I don't know why that just popped into my head now, but anyways, so that's good news for us. Yeah, for a lot of people. The whole the entire Macross thing is free, but I think I read that the license is already going to Aniplex, which kind of is expected, to be honest. Anyways, so this was something that actually came up recently in my life at work with a few of the guys that asked me because they know I play video games. I do podcast here.
Wait,
and
you play video games?
I know, crazy. And one of the first interviews in this Otaku no video was the guy with all the VHS with all the VHS tapes, and they asked him, like, do you have time to watch any of these tapes? Do you? And he goes, no, I just have a collection, right?
I don't watch this.
I only record all the new stuff, and then, he gets on his network. And a question to me was, do you actually play all these old video games that you collect and the anime collection that I have? I go, well, yeah, because I do a podcast, and that's kind of a good way to bust out all these games and play them for the podcast, and vice versa with, the anime podcast. I have some of these DVD sets, and I do pop them in from time to time in just as background noise or what have you, instead of going on a service that it probably doesn't exist on. So when I saw that guy, he goes, "Yeah, I don't watch any of these. I don't have time." It's like, okay, well, at least I'm not this guy. I know I haven't crossed the line yet. There's still time for me, guys.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's just for the sake of the collection.
Yeah, I'm not like that. Yet.
Even nowadays, like obscure, like advertisement. Animations.
Yeah, I don't have any of that.
Yeah, to be fair, you can even kind of see the parallel with like seasonal anime watching to a certain extent, and I'm talking about the most extreme. They're the ones that watch literally everything.
Oh, that is a thing that we would see in the communities that we were part of.
It is very hard to watch everything. I try.
Exactly, right? But people still do it. Or rather, like you say, if you go and talk to a lot of these people, it's like, how do you get time for that? Oh, I watch multiple shows at once, or I put it on 2x speed and shit. It's like, you're not watching it. No, I'm watching it. It's like, yeah. I mean, you're not really. You have
really.
It on, but like, let's be real here. You have it on, so that
you're
you can
looking at it,
about
but you're not watching it.
You're not taking it in
Japan,
completely.
Television in Japan is a little bit weird. I guess, like in our countries, if there's a free open TV station, it's in every single region. That doesn't happen in Japan.
Yeah.
So like, there's like 2 or 3 prefectures that doesn't have like TV Fuji, which is the biggest one.
I was about to say that's like, yeah.
There's other 2, or like there's half of a prefecture that doesn't have a TV station for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah. But that happens. So like, it makes sense for the guys like, yeah, no, I don't watch it, but he definitely watches from like other places he mentioned. Probably because there's one weird TV station that he doesn't have access to, and he wants to watch a specific advertisement to that specific TV station. It is interesting. You got an interesting little part of it. He doesn't watch his own collection, but he watches other people's collection.
Well, I mean, to kind of relate to that is right now for the wrestling podcast and another number of other things, we do digital. It's not tape trading per the word, but it's a lot of digital trading that needs to be done because you just can't access a lot of things for wrestling because a lot of videos were only on closed circuit television in certain regions of the time. Things were only shown in Japan. So you got to try, you got to hope that someone in Japan, recorded it on VHS and then has made a digital copy today so it can you can have access across the world.
Yeah, see, it's that guy. It's that dude helping you.
Yeah. No, you're exactly
From all
right.
the
Like
way back. Yeah.
I've had to contact a number of different guys that just happens to have these collections, and they sell it, and you get it. That's
Moshi.
how we're watching a lot of these things. It's crazy.
Yeah.
KD speaking Japanese to this one dude. He's like, oh.
Well, luckily they
Yeah,
speak
yeah,
English.
yeah.
I mean, you
Yeah,
know,
they were
if they knew
recording-
German,
I
we'd
recorded
be able- yeah.
I recorded that. Yeah, with the show. Yeah, that match from '82. Yeah, I have that in VHS. Let me just make a digital copy for you. Like, oh.
You'd be surprised,
damn.
Icky.
Oh no, I wouldn't. I know there's
Okay,
people out there
alright.
like that.
I mean, hell, like I'm even fucking watching people who are doing this right now with anime, still with old anime, which is insane. And not even making digital copies. Tape trading is still fucking happening. It's obviously nowhere near as popular, but the fact that people are still going out there seeking people who recorded, like whether it be old Japanese commercials for shit or special TV programs or anime at the time that's been excessively rare, or for fucking whether it be DVD or Laserdisc or whatever, and still buys that shit.
There is a sort of
it's
charm
insane.
to seeing the ads from 20, 30 years ago. There's no doubt about that. Like I'm watching a wrestling show from '99 and fucking
Cigarettes,
I'm watching a fucking no, we're watching like
fucking advertisements.
we see advertisements from like a Nintendo 64 game that you've never heard of, but there's a heavy advertisement for it and with actual cars and
that's
or
the cool
or
thing. There's kind of
Surge.
lost media experience with it. You get like old magazines and you look at it and it's just like you see a picture of something. It's like, especially when you get the fucking old Japanese magazines, it's like you can't read that shit, but it's just like, oh my god, what is this? I need to find out what is this.
Yeah,
fucking
you
try to
just
search.
kind of want to
You
go
try
down that
search the
well.
You try to search the different shit. You don't find anything. It's like, oh my god. Suddenly you're in a rabbit hole of fucking Japanese auction sites and fucking weird ass old web page 1.0 fucking days, like trying to find stuff, and it's like, I can't find it. What is this? Do I know anyone? Trying to contact people. It's like suddenly it just becomes a whole obsession. It's like, what is it? It was something that was supposed to happen, but it was cancelled. So it's like, damn.
Right.
It's an
Well,
experience.
something that happened recently was we were watching that show, a wrestling show, and Surge was heavily advertised. We're like, oh man, I remember Surge. Like they got vending machines, they keep popping up. Guys have towels on their shoulders that say Surge. Do you guys remember the soda Surge?
Okay, I understand what you're talking about. Yes, I do. We have them actually.
So
Still.
I was wondering, like, does Surge still exist? Because I haven't seen it in stores.
Yes.
That was 20 years ago. The answer was sort of. It's actually a Burger King exclusive in the United States.
That's interesting. Okay. And
Yeah.
here you get it everywhere, but Surge isn't Surge. It's where I am, it's Urge, but it's the same thing.
What? It's called Urge?
Yeah, it's called Urge.
I'm going to message my buddy right now. Tell him in Norway it's called
Urge?
Urge.
Yeah, you can look it up. Just
I
type
don't
into
even-
Google Urge soda. It's I think it's Coca-Cola here, right? Yeah,
Urge
Coca-Cola that
soda.
makes it. It's essentially the same thing.
Search. I think that was ever sold here. Oh, it doesn't even have
Amazing.
a Portuguese Wikipedia page. I don't know what that is.
Yeah. Surge was a soda that was first introduced to Norway under the name Urge in 1996.
What? It's
Coca-Cola
from Norway?
No, it's not from. It was introduced to Norway.
Oh, okay. It was
from the
introduced.
Coca-Cola company.
Oh, man. You almost really made me...
It was made to compete with Pepsi's Mountain Dew, which, funny enough, we didn't have here for a long time.
Oh, that's even better.
All
right.
So I could still get that pretty much anywhere. It's sold all the time. in stores.
Wow, that's cool. Look at this. We've gone down our own otaku well here with old advertisements and shit. So maybe this anime was
Listen, man, it's still relevant.
still relevant. Maybe I was overly hard.
You can't say that about most things.
No, you're right.
No,
so
I don't have
like
that was never sold in here. I don't know what you talked about.
So let me give
heard of it.
give the review score for Otaku no Video, so we're back on track a little bit here.
Yeah.
So I don't regret watching the show. I think there's a lot of good discussion to have, as we've had. I think especially for our fandom and what this podcast is, it's very relevant. I don't deny any of that. As for my entertainment of it, I didn't like it. It made me feel uncomfortable. I don't think the notes that it was going for hit the way they were meant to, at least for myself. Yet there was a lot of things that brought up discussion and interesting topics. So in that regard, it felt more like an actual documentary rather than a mockumentary that it's meant to be. So I'm probably very harsh with this. Maybe if I watch it again down the line, I will have a different mindset and it'll hit me differently. At this point in time, I'm giving it a very harsh 3 out of 10. So just keep that in mind that it didn't work for me in what I think it was going for. That's my score.
We rewatched it, episode 200. I give it a 7. Yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty fun.
You gave it a 7, Hickey? Is that what you said?
Yeah, give it a 7.
Okay.
Get a 7. It's a Gainax animation, so it's quite good. If again, it's a hit or a miss. JD, it was a miss. It's okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
But mine was a 7. I found it was very entertaining, especially the little interviews. It's like, I know they're making fun of me from 30 years ago, but god damn, it is accurate. Fuck me. Ugh.
Yep. No, I mean, like, again, it's going for a very specific crowd, which is probably why it's like, if you don't really relate to that crowd that much, it can be hard to watch this. And, you know, if you're very sensitive and you don't like being made fun of for your hobbies, and I guess that could also be a problem. But for
Maybe
me,
that had something to do with it, yeah.
maybe, yeah. For me, I don't mind. Like, yeah, sure. It's one of those things where it's like, I've never really had a problem with that. If somebody like goes and tells me like I watch anime and shit like that, and then somebody goes to be like, you're weird, and I'm just like, yeah, pretty much. It's kind of just what it is. I don't really
No
mind.
shit.
It doesn't bother me. Yeah, it doesn't really bother me. I'm weird, yeah, sure. Unique in that way, I guess, but fuck it. Like, that's more fun that way. So I enjoyed it. It hits me well. I really like it. I laugh out loud multiple times when I watch this. It really just gets it. And again, like I said, even if it is weird, it is still one of those anime that's still weirdly relevant even after all this time. You wouldn't think it would be, but especially considering the fact that this literally just came as a result of the fucking Daikon animations, which put Daikon Films, which eventually became Gainax, on the map back when they were Dojin Circle. Imagine that. But yeah, no, I love it. I give it an 8 out of 10. Great shit.
Okay. All right,
I
then.
remember. You can see Hideaki Anno jacking off in this.
Oh, yeah, you can, yeah. All right. So we're going to change up the format from our kind of decade rule after 100 here. So 101 and on for a little while. We're going to do kind of trading off. Hickey is going to have the next episode pick for review. Tori's going to have the one after that. And then it's my turn. And we're just going to kind of go in order from there for a little while. Our next, let's see, Hickey's pick was Glass Mask from 84. Tori's pick for 102 is You're Under Arrest, the OVA from 94. And my pick is the first 25 episodes of Slam Dunk from the 90s. So
would have been pretty funny if you would have picked a 2000 show, and then we would have followed it.
We would have followed it anyways, yeah. Would have been funny. But the point is, instead of just going decade rule and we all kind of come to an agreement on a show, we're just going to have our hosts pick one and go from there. I'm excited for just a slightly new format. Maybe we go on a 90s decade run, and I think I think what's happened was the 70s, because they're so long, we kind of get wrapped up in picking shows that are interesting, and then we just constantly keep going to them. Maybe that's good, maybe that's bad, but hope this new format is interesting to you guys, the listeners. And I'm excited to see what shows Hickey picks in particular. He's got a track record.
Oh, trust me, there's a lot of suffering in the future. I think especially the second batch. Because there's a special show and that makes right, Tori?
Oh man, yeah. If this trend keeps up too long, we might not make it to 200. That's all I'm saying.
Well, if we start feeling that way, we'll have to change up the format again. But we at least got the next 6 episodes picked and planned out. I won't reveal 4 through 6 yet until we get there. But Glass Mask, You're Under Arrest, and Slam Dunk
Hickey
is on the
doesn't choose
dock.
shows anymore. You just need your
We're
future
picking
recall.
shows except for Hickey because he can't be trusted.
Yeah, we
there's
actually
some
want
fun
to watch
stuff in the
these
future.
things sometimes. Anyways, guys, 100 episodes in the books. Thank you again for doing this for 4 years.
Man,
No, it's
yeah,
okay. It's
I
like
can't imagine that it's been 4 years.
my life is very busy. You know, I don't have like it is an important part of the history of animation for us to analyze every single part of such beautiful artworks of other times and spend such a grateful time discussing it together. There
And then
gotta
mostly
be the
just cracking
mouth
jokes and
breathing.
being weird. Yeah.
Cracking jokes being
Jamal
weird.
Freeman
I
should be
look
there.
on this
Just-
journey. I've lived in 2 different countries. I've moved. I've had a few job changes. Tori, you've graduated school in the time of the podcast.
And then entered
I graduated
university.
university. I'm almost graduating from post graduation. Damn.
It's a lot of time has passed. It's fun stuff. All right, here's to 100 more. We'll see you next time.
Peace.
Goodbye.